Good morning, everybody. Grace and peace to you from our Lord Jesus Christ and all the saints here in Central California. 1 second for some caffeination. Well, this morning, engineering is doing another one of their infamous generator tests. So what I'm going to do is sit here and watch. Yeah, you can see it. Let me get my face out of the way. Sit here and watch Intermapper. Everything's green. Everything looks good. Got some link errors there. That's okay. I'm going to ignore those for now. Everything looks pretty good right now. So I am just going to sit here and watch this thing while the generator test happens. Should happen in about 4 minutes. So I'm pretty sure I can talk at least that long. See what's going on here. The wireless project is slowly moving on ahead. And my engineering buddy just sent me a text saying, he said we're doing a generator test this morning. I said, got it. He sent me one of these. So yeah, we've moved on. We've done the second and third floor of the hospital. We're moving on to the first floor, and they got, I'd say 95% of it done this past weekend. So they just were screaming. Well, I shouldn't say done. What they did is do the quick wins first. So APs that could be easily replaced, no new runs were required. They just went through and replaced those, minor repositioning. And they got to go back through and backfill. APs that need new runs pulled, they'll do those after the fact. So they're just going to basically replace what's already there, and then add APs after that. So yeah, that's what happened this last week. Still waiting for the generator test. It's not scheduled for another 2 minutes, but they could start it at any time. Oh, did anything else happen? I am on call every other week, and I did get called. What time was that? 3 a.m. Sunday morning. I got a phone call from the help desk guy. The emergency room had called him asking if we were updating servers or network or anything. So he calls me, and I wasn't on call. He was supposed to call the other guy, my buddy Leo. He didn't call Leo, he called me. And did I answer the phone? No. I'm not on call, dude. Call the correct person. More on that in a second. So I ignored it, and I ignored it, and finally my conscience got the better of me, and I went over and looked at the phone, and he'd left a voice message, and I was reading the voice message, and yes, I was reading the voice message, transcription. And basically the ER had called because their Pyxis machine wasn't communicating. Now Pyxis is a drug dispensing vault, basically. It's a big vault with a computer terminal that's on it, and they'll put in the patient's medical record number and name, and the machine will dispense any medications that patient is supposed to get. It does a couple of things. It keeps nurses from stealing medication, and it also shows in the record the exact dose and of what and how much that the patient got, and it goes into their medical record, so you can always go back and look and see, he was getting his medication on time. So yeah, we actually had a nurse that was stealing and selling narcotics for a while. So that's why we have these Pyxis machines now. It's why we can't have nice things, because of thieves. Anyway, a lot of rambling because I'm waiting for the power test to start. The Pyxis machine wasn't communicating, so they wanted to know if we were doing any updates. And so he called me to ask if they were doing any updates. So I'm I'm glad I ignored that call, because I might not have been very kind in my response. But I tried to go back to sleep, and I couldn't. I normally get up at 4:45. That morning I'd gotten up at 3 because of the phone call, and I couldn't get back to sleep. So Monday morning I got in about a half hour early because I couldn't go back to sleep. And I get into work, and he was already on the call with somebody else. So I waited a little while, and I heard him quiet over there, so nobody on the phone. I walked over there and I said, Dominic, what'd you call about last night? I knew. What'd you call about last night, Dominic? Told me the same story he told me on the voicemail. He said, well, you know that I'm not on call, right? And his eyes got super big. He's like, well, I didn't see anybody on there, so I thought maybe it was still you. Maybe, I said, you didn't see anybody on the on-call schedule? I said, it's either me or Leo. And he goes, yeah, but Leo wasn't on there. You were on there from last week, so I thought maybe you were still doing it. I said, oh, no, I wasn't. So I told him, hold that thought immediately, and I walked over and pulled up the on-call calendar, and sure enough, Leo's name is completely gone. So I told him, well, as far as I know, Leo was on. He was on call, despite what the calendar says. And then I said, and then I finished the lesson by saying, and if it's a network update, I send out schedules. So we know exactly when the network updates happen. And when the server updates happen, they send out schedules and notifications. I said, do you have any of those? He's like, well, no, but I just thought I'd check. Okay, well, that's fine. Good follow-up, but it wasn't me. So we both apologized to each other, actually. So, and speaking of updates, I did update some switches last night, so I'm going to jump in here real quick and see what kind of notifications I got. So those are just random computers that have nothing to do with my switch updates. There's a bunch of them though. All right, so I'm gonna mark these as red. I have a folder here that all the updates go into in my email. So switch 77 was updated. Switch 52 was updated. But I know I updated more than that. What all got updated last night? Hang on. We'll just check. Make sure that what I meant to update last night got updated. And it gives me something to keep talking about while we wait for the power testing to begin. I'll know because the lights will flicker. Alright, let's go over here to my user device groups. Let's go to the main hospital on the first floor. Or was it on the second floor? Where's switch 77? That's on the first floor. So that's the gift shop. That got updated. That looks good. What I really love about these switch firmware updates is I can schedule them. I schedule them for the middle of the night, and I'm not even awake for them. So last night, oh no, that shouldn't have been the gift shop. That should have been, let's see, short stay surgery. Was that one updated? Yes, it was. How about the OR? Yep, OR, of which there are 7 ORs there. Yeah, that was updated. Looks good. PACU, the post-anesthesia care unit. PACU. Where is that? I gotta put my reading glasses on. That's the problem. I keep squinting, like looking at the monitor. It's like, well, put your reading glasses on, and I don't have to do that. What did I say? PACU, where are you? Okay, there you are. Yep, updated. And ICU, the intensive care unit. Yep, that got updated. Very good. So everything got updated last night that should have gotten updated. So why did that first floor switch? When was it? Oh, that's back on Thursday. Okay, that's right. That's when that would have happened. It's all last week. I guess I never marked this all red. So I'm going to mark it as red. Clear that out. And the only thing that Intermapper notified me on was short stay surgery. The others went down and rebooted so fast that we didn't even notice. Okay, I just heard a change in noise out there. Is it happening? I haven't heard any radio traffic. Got an engineer radio here on my desk. Yep. I just keep it on my desk. Jose gave it to me in case we ever needed to use it for contact them. So I listen to them all day long on this thing. It's a digital radio. So it works down in the basements because we got little repeaters everywhere. Works in tunnels. It works on the roofs. It's a pretty slick system. And yeah, their engineer talk isn't always family friendly. Let me tell you. Put that back on its charger here. Doesn't fit real well on the charger. Alright, I'll mess with that later. I need to run the battery down for a little bit anyway. So I am just not seeing it happen. I wonder if they're running into issues today. So anyway, I'm seeing lots of link errors at the moment. That's odd. But no switches going down. So either we've got all the UPSs replaced that we needed to replace, or they aren't doing it, which is what I'm suspecting. Is it's not going to happen this morning because it's already 8 minutes afterwards. 8 minutes after 6 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. So, all right, there's no point in me rambling on and on and on about everything. So yeah, I was supposed to have a power test this morning. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. We did do some switch updates, firmware updates last night. Those all went over really good. And the wireless project just marches on. How many of those have we replaced, by the way? So on the first floor, let me pull up my spreadsheet and see how much we've done. I say Jose's doing the lion's share of the work. So 100% done on the third floor, 102% done on the second floor because we had to add an AP, and 68% done on the first floor. After that, we move down to the basement, and then we move over to our older building, the Legacy Hospital, the Towers. It's called the Towers, we call it. And we'll start replacing those. 5 floors in the Towers and a basement, so that'll take them a bit. That'll take them a minute. All right, guys, like I said, I'm not going to keep rambling on. I'm pretty close to the YouTube optimum of about 10 to 12 minutes, actually coming up on 15. So if you liked hearing me ramble on pointlessly, aimlessly, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment if you have any questions or suggestions, prayer requests. Leave it in the comment section below. And as always, God bless. We'll catch you next week.